I've lived in my house for nearly 30 years, a sprawling, sunlit, four-bedroom place perched on a hill with a view of the lake. The neighborhood has changed and the price of homes has soared, but my house is more than a $900,000 property. It's where I raised my son, where my late husband planted every tree in the backyard, where life happened in slow, meaningful seasons. So imagine my surprise when I returned from a 3-week trip to visit my sister in Michigan and found my front door unlocked. At first, I thought I was losing my mind, perhaps I'd forgotten to lock it before leaving. But the suitcase in the hallway was not mine. The floral pattern was unmistakably new, and the initials on the luggage tag, CF, sent a jolt through me. Cassandra Foster. My daughter-in-law. I heard footsteps upstairs, light hurried, then her voice startled. Oh, you're back earlier than expected. I stood at the base of the stairs, hands on my hips. Earlier, I wasn't expected back for another week. She froze. Matthew didn't tell you. No, I said slowly. Why don't you enlighten me? Her face flushed. Well, Matt said you'd be happy to let us stay here for a bit, just until we get on our feet. Us, I repeated. Right on cue, I heard another set of footsteps. My son descended the stairs, running a hand through his hair like a schoolboy caught stealing cookies from the jar. Mom, he said, we were going to talk to you, we really were. Apparently you weren't going to talk fast enough, I replied. To their credit, they looked genuinely embarrassed. But embarrassment wasn't enough to soften the sting of realization. They had moved themselves into my home without permission while I was hundreds of miles away. I walked past them into the kitchen. The scent of something floral hung in the air. Lavender candles, definitely Cassandra's doing. A new dish rack sat by the sink. My fridge had been reorganized, with my leftovers shuffled to the side to make way for their almond milk and organic spinach. They hadn't just stayed here. They'd settled in. I turned to face them. Explain. Cassandra, ever the talker, jumped in. We were evicted from the apartment. It's temporary, I promise. And Matt said you wouldn't mind because you have so much space, and we thought it'd be good for the baby. I blinked. Baby. She clasped her hands. Yes, we were going to tell you soon. I sat down heavily. My son looked at me with a mix of caution and hope. For a moment, a warm rush of emotion pushed aside my irritation. A grandchild. After everything, after 2 years of their marriage wobbling, after their financial missteps, this was something pure. But the warmth didn't erase the issue at hand. Why didn't you just call me? I asked. Matt sighed. I knew you'd tell us to wait until you got back, and we didn't have anywhere else to go. I looked at both of them. You always have somewhere to go here, but that doesn't mean you can just move yourselves in like squatters. Cassandra's face flushed again, this time with something like indignation. We're family, she said. I didn't think it would be that big of a deal. Well, it is, I said, because this house is still mine, and in my house we talk first and move in second. They nodded meekly. I inhaled deeply and exhaled slowly, letting the tension settle before continuing. Okay, I said, since you're here, let's go over a few rules. Cassandra and Matt both sat down, stiff and nervous. I resisted the urge to smile. First, I said, this isn't a hotel, you're not guests, you're adults staying temporarily in my home. That means responsibilities, cooking, cleaning, expenses, and that includes contributing to utilities. Of course, Matt said quickly. Second, if you're staying here to get back on your feet, then I expect you to actually work on getting back on your feet. No lounging around for weeks, no excuses. Agreed, he said. Third, I paused, no surprises, especially not people moving into my house without permission. Cassandra swallowed. Right. Lastly, I said, folding my hands, you can stay for 3 months. After that, you need a plan and a place. They both nodded. But I wasn't quite done. Now, I continued slowly, there's something I need to tell you. Their eyes widened. My sister offered me a job in Michigan, something part-time, flexible, and honestly, I'm considering it. If I take it, I'll be staying with her off and on. That's great, Matt said, relieved. I held up a finger, but it means that if I leave again, one of you is in charge of the house. They exchanged glances. And that person, I added, is me, not you. So before I make any decisions about moving back and forth, I need to know that I'm leaving my home in responsible hands. Cassandra nodded eagerly. We can do that, we'll take care of everything. I smiled faintly, we'll see. The next few weeks surprised me. Cassandra cleaned with a zeal I'd never seen before. She cooked dinner 3 nights a week, experimenting with recipes that filled the house with warm, comforting smells. She even asked me for my late husband's favorite dish, hopping to honor him. Matt took up odd jobs, even two at one point, determined to show he could provide for his new family. He fixed the squeaky gate, touched up peeling paint, and mowed the lawn without being asked. Slowly, the house didn't feel invaded. It felt fuller. One evening, as we sat in the living room watching the sun dip behind the lake, Cassandra put a hand on her belly. "Thank you for letting us stay," she said softly. "I know we didn't start things right, but I'm glad this is where our baby's first memories will be." I looked at them, really looked, and felt something inside me soften completely. "You're welcome," I said, "but next time call first." We all laughed. They found an apartment 2 months later, smaller, more modest, but theirs. They moved out with hugs and promises to visit weekly. The house grew quiet again, but not lonely. And when the baby was born, a girl with her father's eyes and her mother's stubborn little chin, I realized that the unexpected intrusion, the shock, the frustration, it had brought us closer than we'd ever been. Sometimes surprises arrive like storms. Sometimes they bloom like new beginnings. And sometimes they sneak into your $900,000 home while you're away and change your life forever.